Hello, Yvonne Gaybauer here with my therapy room, and I'm over at my friend Karen's house this evening, and I guess it was a couple of evenings ago, but recording our Try It Tuesday prompts, and I'm doing number 4. So what I need to do for this week's prompt is use Inktense blocks, use dictionary or book pages, so I punched out butterflies with my dictionary paper. We also had to use an old or new stamp and or stencil set. So I've had this stamp set, which is a whole bunch of different sentiments for quite a while. The stencil I've had for a little while. I've used it once, and you can see with little dots, but I've never used the rest of it. So I'm going to use the squares on this project. We have to stamp on deli paper. So I've chosen one of the quotes and my deli paper, and I'm going to stamp that quote on there and adhere it to my page. So I started out by using my Liquitex Basics, and I'm using the Prism Violet and Brilliant Purple. And I just alternate putting them directly onto the page and blending them in with my brush. And I'm just using a flat brush. I think it's like a 3/4 inch or something like that. And I just keep going back and forth with the different paint colors until I'm happy with the result. And I'm not going for perfect blending. I want to be able to see the two different colors when I'm done. So there was a lot of paint on this page by the time I was finished. So here I'm just taking a credit card and swiping it through the lighter purple and making some little hashtag marks. I love the look of that on a page. I just think it adds that other little layer of dimension and interest to a page. So I just continue to do that until I'm happy with the number of hashtags I have on my page. Then I take my stencil and I grab my Inktense block dark purple number 750, and this is just a petty ball thing that you buy from the drugstore to smooth out your heels, and I use that as a grater, and it's got a little holding well in it, so that's where I collect all of the shavings from the Inktense blocks. Now I'm taking my polyfill or spackle, drywall mud, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just putting a glob of it on my stamping block. I use my acrylic blocks a lot for this kind of stuff. They're just easy to clean up. And then I dump the contents of that petty ball. And of course, everybody uses their palette knife for other tools besides just painting. Yeah, should so not do that, but the poor thing gets used for that. Mix it up very, very well, because not necessarily are all of the little chunks grated up. So you want to be able to make sure it's grated up very, very well. So here I am going to apply the stencil or the paste to the page, and make sure you're holding your palette knife flat. Don't hold it up on its edge. If you hold it up on its edge, you're going to shove the texture paste underneath the stencil. So if you want a nice crisp, like you see I've got there, make sure you hold it flat. So I'm just stamping my sentiment. I always take my stamp pad to my stamp, and I'm looking for the unwaxed side of my deli paper to do my stamp on, and I get it in one stamp. I never get anything in one stamp. And I also like to tear my sentiments out. I don't like to cut them. I don't like that sharp edge, and I find the torn edge blends into the background a lot better. And if you put your nail right along the edge of where you're tearing, you can get a pretty detailed tear out of whatever you're trying to get out there. Oh, my video is starting to skip, and hopefully my audio is going to match my video. So I just continue to tear until I've got it all turn out, and you can get pretty detailed there. So now I'm just arranging my sentiment onto my page and adhering it with my gel medium. I prefer using gel medium to Mod Podge when I'm doing this on a page, simply because I find Mod Podge, even the matte, has got a bit of a gloss to it, and I don't want to be able to see that I've attached it with my gel, with either Mod Podge or whatever. The gel medium just blends right in and you don't even see it. I've already recorded this video once and had to redo it, so hopefully this is all working. Hopefully. Straighten up my D. I kind of folded it over there. And here my butterflies the same way. Oh, camera went out of focus there for a minute. I love using the gel medium. I believe this is Liquitex. Yeah, it is. It's Liquitex gel medium. Now here, I'm using one of Karen's, and this is one of the Inca Golds. Don't ask me what color it is. I don't remember. One of the purples, obviously. But I've never applied it with a paintbrush before, and I tell you, that went on so smooth. It was awesome. I loved it. And then once they were all colored, I took my Permaball pen and outlined each of the butterflies. And I'm not going to make you watch me painstakingly trace around each of these. And then when I was finished that, I went around a few of the squares. Not all of them, just a few. Just again to add that other layer of dimension and interest to the background on the page. I outlined some of the not full squares as well. Now I'm taking my gelato, and I just finished looking up the color, and black cherry, that's what it is, black cherry. And so I went around the whole entire page with black cherry just to, again, outline it. Love, love, love this color, and love how it blended into the background so well on that acrylic paint. When I was done with that, I took my Inktense block. This was Karen's idea, and I grabbed my Deep Indigo number 1100, and I just lightly wet my finger and spread it along the page, and then applied the Inktense block, and it just blends in. It almost turns that indigo blue into a dark, dark, dark purple, and just frames the page out so beautifully against the gelato that I just finished using. So yes, very pleased with the outcome of that. Just continuing around my page. Now I am wanting to outline the words. So I started out with my Inktense block, but I don't like how thick the line ended up after I put water on it. So out come the baby wipe, and thank goodness for acrylic paint and gel medium. It just wipes right off. So I tried the Posca pen and tried smearing that. Nope, didn't like that either. So just went with the plain Posca pen at the end of the day, and just try to blend again. Yeah. There we go. Just a sketchy little line. When I was all finished, actually, when I got home, I went around those lines again with my Permaball pen, just again to give it another, there's kind of a couple of double lines in a couple of the places. So here's where I think I'm done when I'm at Karen's house. I'm never done, it seems. So when I got home, of course, I figured that I needed to do a few more things. So this is just me recording when I got home. So I added the white little trails with my Uniball Signal white gel pen. I love, love, love that pen. And then I took I've got a text stamp, and I stamped it around the background. And you can see I added the text back to the butterflies to make it look like it was still that dictionary paper. So yeah, quite happy with how that turned out. So thank you again for coming along. If you haven't already, please subscribe. You'll get notifications. Leave me a comment. I love to read them, and very much appreciate you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.